Just this week, we have gotten a visit from the King of England with his wife, 4-day official visit to Kenya. It's a very fast visit all over Africa. It's the first official visit he's done since his inauguration. And for the life of me, I did not want to comment on all the things that have happened because of the British. But then I saw this clip, and I'll show you a few seconds of it, and then we'll discuss it.
I wish the King had more pride in Britain. But it seems that every time King Charles visits the West Indies or Africa, he's got to crawl, he's got to grovel, he's got to apologise for Britain's wicked colonial past and pretend it was 100% evil. And it's the whole same story again on his visit this week to Kenya, where activists are hoping that after sorry comes reparations, free money. It's on its way. Patrick, the King's slamming of British history in Kenya, the right thing to do, or is he letting Britain down a bit?
Well, it's absolutely the wrong thing to do. The King is supposed to be our envoy around the world, not going around on an international apology tour. And they're trying to spin it as the King stopped short of full frontal apology.
This is Sky News, and these are two of their employees. And one of the things that really extremely pissed me off was the fact that, number one, they are not apologetic about what happened to Kenya. Now, just a history lesson for you guys from Sky News. Britain came and stole our resources, and for so many years took over and pretended that this was part of their property. There were people living in Africa before the British came along. And listening to this gentleman tell us that we should be grateful that the British did this. What? That our grandfathers and great-grandfathers were killed and maimed, and even some of them, their bodies haven't been found till today. We should be grateful about that. We should be grateful that you took our resources from Africa and have not even paid them back, and used our resources to build your cities and your towns and your continent. The only reason that Europe is so successful today is because of African resources. And this hasn't even stopped, because I'm not even mentioning France and what they are doing in West Africa. We should be grateful that you did that to us.
They then apologised to her, but a little bit like this, Andrew, an apology is not enough. Next comes the handout. Next comes money. But, you know, for the Kenyans, we have actually given them billions of pounds over the years. They are a member of the Commonwealth. In fact, £132 million investment in Kenya went there just a couple of years ago. And can I just say, you know, whenever we see incidents take place in this country, if we see a terror attack or something like that, we don't ever expect an entire community to apologise for the actions of one rogue individual. So why should our entire country now, and every British person living in it, and our current serving monarch, apologise for things that had nothing to do with him?
We helped to ameliorate. We gave you democracy, even if Kenyans don't always live up to it as they should. We gave you the gifts of the English language. We gave you the rule of law. I mean, there's many institutional things. I've been to Kenya. I look around and I think, wow, if the British hadn't been here, this place would not be quite as good as it is. Not that the Kenyans have quite lived up to the legacy they were left.
Exactly, but also if it hadn't have been us, it would have been someone else. I mean, the French were at it, the Portuguese were at it, the Spanish were at it, everyone was at it, OK? So if it wasn't the Brits that had gone in there at that particular moment in time, it would have been somebody else. And I don't see these other countries queuing up to apologise either.
And then he goes on to say that we should be grateful that Britain did it, because if Britain hadn't done it, then another country would have done it. Does that make it even better? So you come into my house and plunder and then tell me, you're lucky I'm the one plundering you. If I was not doing it, then someone else would have done it. Shame on you. Shame on you to think that what was done is excusable. And then you go ahead and ask us that we should not expect you to apologize because it wasn't you who did it. It was your grandfather. It was your great-grandfather who actually did it. And the benefits and the wealth that you enjoy today is because of the misbehavior and the criminal activity that your lineage actually did. And the crest on your family should be ashamed because your lineage has the blood of Africans on it. The wealth that you enjoy today is because of the blood, sweat, and tears of Africans. Shame on you. And then to tell us that English is a privilege. My friend, we were communicating before you came. The only reason that Africans have to learn English is because right now, because of colonialism, it is a must. Because we just want to be able to communicate with other people. We have our own languages. In fact, in Kenya, we have over 40 different languages. And you'll not find one single Kenyan who does not know more than 2 languages. Come and check. For you, you only know English. Why? Because all the way from the 1200s, that's the only language you have spoken. We are multilingual because we have to be. And even after the colonialism that you brought on us, even after killing all of our grandfathers and grandmothers, and after doing all that, we still are able to allow you into our country. And at least your king was able to come and say an apology. But for you, you have the hubris to say that you have nothing to apologize for. Shame on you, Sky News. But the chilling question is this. If Africans did half of what you, the British, did to us, if we did half of what Europeans did for close to 100 years on this continent, you wouldn't forgive so easily. Yes, as Africans, we have chosen to stand above all that has happened to us, and we don't sit down and become victims of our history. But don't ever one day ever think that just because you did that to us, that it was okay. Everyone, when they meet an African, should always apologize for what your people did. Because those things that happened to people who are fathers, who are mothers, who are brothers and sisters to someone. They were children of someone. And you came, and just because of your more technology at that particular time, you thought that it was okay. The blood of Africans running in the ground, taken down by British people that they thought were friends. Because Africans, we love visitors. And we opened our arms ready to accept this pale man that was coming into our village. And what did you do? You took advantage of the fact that we are so hospitable and then did what you did. That is in the past. But never today ever think that what was done in the past was forgotten. We may have forgiven, but we have not forgotten. So instead of standing on your high horse and thinking that Europe is better than Africa because you colonized us, you should be thinking of where we are going in the next 100 years, because believe me, Africa is going to be number 1 in the world, and we will not ask for permission about it. So, what do we expect from you, Sky News? An official apology to Kenya, because we are not going to let that slide. That's something for you to think about.